What is up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another live stream, episode number 93. 93 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream. And as always, I want to thank you for taking the time and spending it here with me, time being our most precious commodity. And with that being said, let me go right ahead and say what's up to the Camera Junkie crew. If it is your first time here, my name's Lewis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, and please say hello in the chat. Introduce yourself so that you can get the nice Camera Junkie welcome from the Camera Junkie crew. And with that, let's see who's here in the house to start off. Mr. Moderator, Paul Duncan in the house. How are you doing, sir? He's saying hi to Richard right here, Mr. Sarkeesian, who's also saying hello to everyone here in the house. And he's saying, how am I? I'm doing good. I'm tired right now, to tell you the truth, because as I spoke about last week, I'm getting everything ready for People of Video that I am going to be taking Aiden and myself up to Albany, New York, and we should be heading out Wednesday if everything goes according to plan. Tuesday night I will be getting the rental vehicle and giving myself a little bit of time to actually load the vehicle up, even though I've got all that prepped to start hitting the road and making the trek all the way to People of Video. I'm really excited because I'm tired, but it's because of all that extra cleaning that you have to do. But I digress. Let's see. Sly says, wow, 93 in a row. You rock it, man. Keep that focus. I can't wait till you reach 100. Yes, 100 is an immense goal, right? Like, there are programs in syndication that wish they had 100 episodes of anything that they create. But also, on top of that 100 is episode 104, which is 1 month after 100 being my 2-year anniversary, meaning 2 years of weekly live streams. And everyone, just to let you know, I will not be skipping a beat while I'm on the road, because it's not only People of Video. After that, there's a couple of events. There's some things including the leap into podcasting, and then after that there's a photo shoot, video shoot that I'll be doing with Ecamm in that same Boston area. So really excited. That doesn't finish up till the 5th of October, and that's when I'm going to be taking Aiden and myself back down here to Miami to close off the festivities. So there should be, if I'm guessing correctly, maybe 4 episodes of me on the road, and because of it I took precautions, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Sly is saying what's up to Paul here. He says, Richard says, awesome, we'll get together at POV. Absolutely, can't wait. Hey, what's up, Kathy? How are you? Saying hello and welcome to the live stream. Thanks for hanging out. Well, today I'm going to be talking about Sony's newest cameras. Oh man, look, setting everything up, the one control that I have relinquished for tonight's live stream is the ability to skip a song. So like whatever's playing on the soundtrack, it's at random. I won't be able to, change that over at any point because of the simple fact that I had to disconnect my Mac Mini because that's also going to be on the road. And what I did was connected my laptop, but I also have it on clamshell mode, which for those of you who don't understand is basically like screen off, closed. But I have it connected via HDMI, and with external peripherals, I'm able to connect an external monitor and basically use it as a desktop, which is what I have going on over here. So as you can see, it's got that old, screensaver, but I digress. That's just more of all the technology and all of the things that are happening for me to get my behind at People of Video. Hey, what's up, John? How are you? John is here saying what's up to the crew. He said, I missed last week, but I'm here tonight, which is cool because you were the one who asked me about the crisp audio. and how it's working. So now that you're here, I'm just gonna take the quick time to demonstrate one of my latest videos. I made a walkthrough about my audio system, and right when I say it, the air conditioning turns off. Actually, it turned right back on. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. All right, right there, I turned on the air conditioning and made sure that it stays on so that I can run this quick demonstration of crisp audio. So I have a couple of videos actually demonstrating the power of crisp audio and also, or noise suppression software. That's what crisp is, better said. And a video on how I have it set up with my Rodecaster Pro and everything like that if you want to achieve the same results. Because crisp audio is so powerful that it actually removes sound effects or any other outside noise. So anything that Aiden could be making with, you know, his toys over here does not come through, and it works so well that not even the air conditioning that's on right now is actually passed through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute the music, and then I am going to turn off crisp audio so that you can hear all of the sound that should be coming through the microphone. And this is a condenser microphone with the air conditioning on, Aiden playing in the background, so on and so forth, so that you can get a good idea of what you're not hearing comparative to what crisp is removing. How you doing, Peter? Peter is also just stopped by saying hi while I'm driving from my brother's house. Peter, I'm going to be leaving for People of Video by Wednesday. I haven't been able to get in contact with you because I've been so busy. But I would like to visit you before I head out. It would be really cool that you get to see Aiden before we're off on the road for a month as well. So I'm going to be giving you a call most likely tomorrow to see if we can set something up for either Monday or Tuesday. I would really like to go say hi, and I have something else planned out. Hey, what's up, Sammy? Sammy's saying hello. Welcome to the live stream. Well, getting back to it, we were talking about crisp audio, and right now I'm going to give you that demonstration. So air conditioning is on, music is on, and I have the music playing through a secondary channel through the Rodecaster Pro for the simple reason that if I were to run it through the main channel, Crisp is such a powerful program that it will remove the music while I'm talking, like live. It is such an amazing program, and I'm here to demonstrate it. So let's get into it real quick. I am going to... Okay, I've muted the music. So now we have no music, and I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds of silence so that you can hear that no sound is coming through. And with that being said, I am now going to turn off Crisp. And that is the noise floor that you're getting here that you don't hear with crisp audio. So air conditioning is on. You can hear Aiden making his noise. All of that is being effectively removed. So now if I were to turn on the music, it will kind of hover around that same decibel level to try to drown it out a little bit. But with crisp audio, that noise gets removed effectively. And I'm really surprised that it doesn't add like a huge coloration or anything to my voice. It doesn't change the way that it sounds. And yet I have like active noise suppression that acts like sound treatment. And which is why I'm really excited to take this road trip as well, because Aiden is making so much noise right now. Like really excited because I'm able to take this sound treatment, this digital sound treatment, mobile, on the road, on any computer that I'm able to work with. So That's why I highly recommend using this program, or at least looking into it, because of how well it works for these applications. And the really cool part, the part that blows my mind, is that it removes the music and the melody from anything. So it really gives you the power to do mobile events outside without having to worry that somebody walking by with like music that's not copyrighted for your channel or completely secular to be like blasting somehow in the background, and that now YouTube or whatever medium you're using picks it up as copyrighted content because you didn't have control of the entire environment. And with this application, because it removes all music, you could really do a podcast out in the open without having to worry about outside noises affecting your content. It is a really remarkable program. I'm super happy that I found it, and for that I recommend it. Highly recommend it. And then it allows me to put music, subtly in the background, and it can play at a good like decibel level without it being too empowering, because you're trying to beat out that noise floor. Right now you're just able to do what you do, and they got my money. That's all I gotta say. I was able to test it out for a week, and links are in the description, I believe, for Krisp. Yeah, and like I said, it's not an affiliate program or anything like that, so I would definitely tell you to just check it out because it really does work. I heard about it through Discord, and man, once I figured out that I can use it for everything else, I'm even thinking about post-production work. So here's a little like mind idea, so to speak, a thought that I have that I'm going to be attempting, which is I would like to get clean audio and be able to use crisp noise suppression on basically all of my content. So how would I do that? I'm just gonna record things on my iPhone naturally with all the background noise, but then when I go to process the audio, I'm going to process it through Krisp as if it were a microphone, and use a recording application to record that audio cleaned up from my phone into Krisp. And then when I transfer the video file, I'll synchronize the new audio that I just crispified, so to speak, and then throw the video with the original audio completely removed, so that I only am using the new like noise canceled crisp audio with all of my content. So I am working on a workflow to do that, especially that I want to be recording a lot of things now out in the open on my way to People of Video. So that's the idea. And once I get things rolling, I will be documenting what I'm doing so that I can share it with you guys. Another thing is that I want to document or give you a sneak peek on what I've been working on for this last week, that some of you will get to see firsthand at People of Video. But let's move on. I'm just gonna leave that there as a precursor, as a what's the word? Yeah, just as a footnote. I'm just gonna leave that. We're gonna put a pin in it, and we're gonna get back to it a little bit later. All right, let's check on the chat once again before I get into my soliloquy. It says, okay, so everybody's saying that's pretty amazing about the sound. It says that's so cool. The audio meters on the RCP showed nothing when Krisp is on. Without it, it was reading about 1/5 of the way up on the meter. Exactly. It's so good. Richard says, I got Krisp and it's amazing. Wouldn't have known about it until you. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, like I said, I highly recommend it, and if you haven't looked into it, take a little time. You'll be very impressed. All right, so with that being said, let's get back to this. Okay, today, oh yes, thank you, Mr. Moderator. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to just hit that like button. It goes a long way. I highly appreciate it. And today we're going to be talking about Sony's latest releases in cameras, a couple of them that are not really made for you. They're not the average consumer type camera. One of them was the one that, well, both of them. The one that was highlighted on the Sony channel this week is the SONY Venice Extension System 2. So now you're taking all of the properties of the SONY Venice camera system, but you're making it a whole lot more gimbal-like. So what is this, or who is this for? Obviously, pro-end cinematographers that are using these for high-end production, and the ability of the system is pretty remarkable. What they have done is that they have basically taken the front end of their SONY Venice camera, which would house like the sensor itself, and left all of the external like components, or the computer, the brain, the recording system that's inside that gives you all of the variables, and they've separated. They just kind of like offed it, right? And they've connected it with a cable, giving you the best of both worlds. They're giving you the power of this gigantic camera, but it's basically on this wire tether. So you have this cable that's connecting this small sensor, allowing you to just put the lens itself. And if you have a lightweight lens, you're talking about a very lightweight system that looks something similar to like a DSLR type of camera rig, you know, and something that could be very easily handheld. You can add a monitor to this rig, and if you're recording or transmitting wirelessly, that's even less cables that you have to deal with, allowing you to, as they demonstrated in their video, take videos with the quality of a SONY Venice, but inside of a vehicle, giving you a first-person shoot, because you're removing about a foot of camera at least, right, off of the back of it, allowing your face and your person to be in the space that that camera would normally reside in. So now you can handheld and do a lot of things, and you can squeeze this camera in a lot of places. Another added feature is that you can put it on a, what is called like a camera jib, right? So it just allows you to get like high arcing or panning shots, and with a gimbal system at the end, you have a lot less weight to deal with, allowing you to maneuver the camera sensor a lot faster, a lot easier, without having to maintain the weight of the entire body, because all of that girth is literally just hanging off the side. I saw a implementation or a demonstration of having a second cameraman or the camera assistant holding the weight of the body and not having to worry about the shot itself, giving the camera operator the like full liberty of getting the best angle possible for the video. Like I said, if it's on a jib, you have the system right onto the side. So there is a plethora of different functionalities that will now be available, because you've literally separated the heavy part from the recording part on this camera. And I think it's ingenious. I think that is such a next level move, but I also think that it's a answer, right, that Sony is giving to the professional market, so that they can stay away from one of the more interesting cameras that came out in the last year, which is that DJI Cinema 4D, right? I think I got it right. So many different cameras, but the one that has a built-in gimbal and Z-axis tilt. So that's the one that people have called like the chicken camera, but that gives you pretty much the steadiest footage that is basically possible for a handheld camera rig with a full frame sensor implemented to it. So with that being said, I think that Sony knocked it out of the park. They did something very innovative that gives you the ability to get gimbal-like functionality out of a huge cinema camera, which is like, I think that's amazing. Just a simple modification and a separation and now connection with this cable is continuing to get their same camera, or basically components, in just a slightly different modification that is going to take the production of that same unit to the next level. And hats off to Sony for that. I really think so. Aiden's just got me in a tight fit right here, but hats off to Sony when it comes to this camera. But like I said, this is a camera for high-end cinema production, and it's not something that like you and I are waiting for. There were 4 cameras that I had mentioned, and I believe just a couple of weeks ago, about that we're waiting before the end of the year. And in this week, we literally just were informed about 2 of them, and those 2, one being this this SONY Venice Extension 2, not made for the average consumer, and the other one is also dedicated more for industrial, or like surveillance type of high-end surveillance or monitoring, with a PTZ camera, which is called a pan tilt zoom. Some people use it for a variety of different things. Like, it's what some people are found for, like, I would say for monitoring work sites, right? But then you also have some certain creators, to a big enough scale, like a Mr. Beast, who uses a lot of these PTZ cameras to monitor the contestants in his games where he creates his videos. So PTZ is pan tilt zoom. It's basically a sensor built on a 3-axis gimbal, allowing you to place it a variety of different places and control it remotely. It comes with a power zoom lens of, I believe, let me make sure. I totally restarted my computer, so I lost all the websites. But it basically, I think it's running with a 35mm to 135. I could be correct. It could be 18 to 135, which would make a little bit more sense. But it is a fully robotic type camera, something that you can place. It does have the ability to record directly to the camera, but most likely it's going to be used in an application where you're going to be recording remotely and controlling it remotely the same way, most likely through an Ethernet type of connection, giving you full access to the motors to be able to move the camera side to side, up and down, and also zoom in from either 18 to 135mm. And if the camera, not sure if it's full frame, actually it is, and B&H actually is the one that had that one, or it's already for sale, completely out of someone's typical price range. I believe it's going for like $12,900, which is like, wow. So it's a full frame camera, but with that focal range, gives you a lot of versatility. And if you're also able to put it into that APS-C mode, that gives you even a little bit more reach. You're going to be reaching well over 200mm with that same setup on a completely remote system. So imagine that that's something that can be utilized by even systems like Best Buy, right? I believe Best Buy was a place where you would walk in and you would see the guy with a little remote searching throughout the entire store and looking at everything. That's basically what he's using. He's using a PTZ camera. So whether it's that type of industry or more of, like I said, an industrial type of, work site where you need to just keep an eye out in various different locations, but from a single vantage point, this is where that camera falls into. And especially with that price point, it's headed for industrial use for these types of locations. And that's why I say this is not the average consumer type cameras. But the reason why I mentioned that is because that means that that's 2 of the potential 4 cameras, or the rumored 4 cameras that were going to be coming to us before the end of the year. So that being already announced just leaves the speculation, right, and the hopes for the 2 remaining cameras, which were the ones that I was speaking about a couple of weeks ago as well, which is the Sony A7R5, and that one is rumored right now to be a 95 megapixel camera. There's actually 2 rumors, just to be clear, that there is no megapixel bump, which if there's no megapixel bump, I would really have to see where they would make the improvements, especially in this camera. And it's not that I don't think that those improvements are like not valid, but the R stands for resolution, and that's what has been kind of the upgrade. But the time before, between the models 2 and 3, they did use the same sensor. What they changed was the battery type to actually go from the small NPFW50 batteries that I use in my APS-C cameras is the same small battery that I have in my A7R2. But that is its one sort of weakness. If I want to use it for video, that's going to be tough on a full frame camera because the battery is not going to give me a lot of life out of it. That's why they made the Z-type battery, which gives almost double the battery life, and that was the big difference between versions 2 and 3 in the R series. When they moved from the 3 to the 4, they had once again the megapixel bump, because the first A7R was a 36 megapixel from the standard 24 megapixel that you would find in the A7 Classic. So when Sony came out with the A7 Classic, that was a 24 megapixel sensor. Then they had the A7R, which was their 36 megapixel camera, basically same frame. Then they had the A7S, which stood for sensitivity, great in low light, but also a decrease in the megapixels from 24 to 12 to achieve that high or good low light quality. That's the one that people fell in love with. Then when they came out with version 2, it was that much even better, of the S series. Then version 2 of the R series is the one that I have, which was a completely different camera. It became the flagship of Sony at that moment because it had all the bells and whistles, 4K, 30. It has full frame 42.2 megapixel camera or sensor. The ability to do full-sized like raw files or compressed raw files, in-body image stabilization, like I said, all the bells and whistles. The one thing that it faulted was that it only has a single camera or a single memory card slot, and that was like the one flaw. So here comes the A7 III, right? Because the A7 II did come out, but the A7 III was the one that brought in the 2 memory card slots to bring that into the Sony realm. And the difference between the A7R2 and the 3 was the battery that was also found on the A7 III. And then the A9 was introduced, and that one became the flagship of Sony, which people forget. People totally forget about the Sony A9, and I still think that's an amazing camera. 24 megapixels. That thing was shooting 20 frames a second. Silent. Just ridiculous stats that still hold up till today. And that's a camera that is going to be potentially on its 3rd iteration if they do come out with it. But I digress. So then going back to it, we've had all these varieties of cameras, and if they do come out with the A7R4, this entire explanation was to explain that I would assume that because of the R name, they would be bumping up the resolution from 61 to 95 or 80 or something of that realm, right? Some type of resolution bump, just because it falls into that category of the R series. If it were any other one, I would tell you, yeah, but I don't see them getting a difference in battery size, right? Or battery life. And I really hope that they don't come out with a, I'm just saying it right now, I really hope that they don't come out with a flip out screen. Once again, team flip up. I prefer just the standard photography type of flip up screen. Certain things are just really good the way they are, and it makes the camera more reliable, more rigid, more functional than the flip out screen that a little knock will crack it, break it, and leave your camera inoperable, which that's my whole, stick on it, so to speak. That's it. But I digress. With that being said, let's just hope that they come out with just A7R, and that they come out with the other rumored camera is an E-type camera. So most likely like a ZVE, or it was the ZVE10 that came out, right? That's the E-mount APS-C camera that everyone's been very, very happy with. I would like to see maybe a new flagship in the APS-C. They said it's a ZV type of camera, which would make sense, but then I would just hope that hopefully it comes with a viewfinder, because I'm a viewfinder type of guy as well. So that's where we stand with these cameras and with the potential of what's to come. Let's hope that Sony really knocks it out of the park. Even though I cannot complain about the ZV-E10, everyone that has purchased it has absolutely loved the camera. I'm still holding off. I'm hoping for a flagship camera that knocks it out of the park, and I'm hoping, my biggest thing is 10-bit color on APS-C. Sony, please give us 10-bit color. It will make whatever camera you pump out worth it. Absolutely. It will sell like hotcakes, and you know it. So please do it. 10-bit color. Help us out with some type of log footage so that we can just make it flat and really play with the colors. That will be hands down the #1 content creator camera for many years to come. And my dream would be a flip up screen, but that's just me. Flip up screen, just do it. All right, and with that, let's go back to the chat to see what's up here. Okay, D is in the house, says just finished my live. Sorry for being, never apologize, bro. You are here. Thank you for stopping by. You're always appreciated. Thank you for taking the time. Janice is here. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by at the Camera Junkie live stream. Much appreciated. Nano is in the house. What's up, man? There we go. How are you doing, sir? This is also another Luis, for those of you who don't know, but he is also well known as Nano in all of our hearts here. All right. Mulan. I always mess up this name. Mulain. Because I always try to say something else. Mulain TV. Say, hey there, Mr. Camera Junkie and everyone. How are you doing, sir? You know what? I would appreciate if you can drop us your name so that I don't have to try to keep reading this incorrectly. And that way I'll be able to address you by that. But it's up to you. If not, you continue to hear me butcher your name. I will do my best. And with that, right, we have covered so far what we've done, right? And I do have one little thing that I wanted to show you guys, because this is just a sneak peek. This is not the actual thing, but this is to create intrigue in what's to come. So I've been working hard to figure out a way to take my production on the road, especially that I'm going to be gone for a month. And that is something that is just like, I need to still be productive, right? I need to still be able to edit. I still need to be able to do my live streams. I need to still be able to be productive with what I do. So I took it upon myself to get a couple of things to start working something out now. A little tidbit. This has a little MacGyvering, into it, but I'm going to show you what I've purchased. This is my Apache 3800 Pelican style case. Now, the Pelicans, we all know, are pretty expensive, right? And I wasn't sure that I wanted to go ahead and start purchasing a Pelican case to poke and prod and do experiments on. This guy I was able to find for $45 at Harbor Freight. So I would definitely tell you to check them out. They have a variety of different sizes, but this one seemed to be the one that worked out for me. As you can see, not too big. There's the sticker as well, the Apache 3800. And what does it say? Weatherproof protective case used for camera equipment, electronics, tools, and valuables. So there are valuables in here, but the surprise is what's on the inside, and it's pretty much built out. So I will not show it to you because it's coming in a video, but this is the teaser. Those kind of look like Vesa, a little Vesa there, and then on the back there's a little power thing there. It's kind of interesting. So there's definitely some intrigue and some things going on here, but you're gonna have to wait to see. So there you go. And for all of you who can't see it on my face right now, I had a lot of fun making that. That was something that and the video is going to be a bit different because I did not make it high-end production. There was too much little fidgeting, so to speak, to work with. So what I did is I recorded it on my new camera. So right now, this is most likely going to be my vlogging setup for people of video. I'm going to be doing as much recording as possible, and that's why I'm going to just record with no extra microphones, nothing. This is going to be it: a handle, an articulating arm, and my little mount to hold the phone in place. This is just like a little tripod so that I can just place it anywhere, and that is going to be my content creation machine, so to speak, for the next month. I have totally cleaned out this phone, so it has no applications on it, no Twitter, Instagram, nothing. It is just 256 gigs of available video and photos, which leads me to another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys. I'm going to make it official when I hit the road, but I'm starting a challenge, and if you want to take part, feel free, because I'm doing it all on my Apple iPhone. If you happen to be an iPhone user, I would highly recommend for you to join me on this challenge. On my month-long trip, I'm going to do something called the Apple a Day Challenge, which is I'm going to be posting a photograph that I'm going to be taking not on my high-end expensive camera, but right from my iPhone, and I'm going to be posting it to my Instagram account and my new Vero account. So Vero is a new application that's been being pushed by some content creators. You might have heard of it already. If you're on Vero, you can look me up, Mr. Camera Junkie, the same moniker all the way around. I'm already there. I have not posted anything to Vero, which is why I also want to do this challenge. I'm going to be doing it on Instagram as well, so that, spread the love, so to speak, but I'm also going to be doing it, to kick off kind of my Vero account and be documenting not only my photographs, but some of the videos that I'm going to be creating on the way to People of Video and the people that I get to meet there. Last year, I wasn't really able to take the thought ahead of time to plan out all of the recording that I wanted to do and the type. And because of other circumstances that I've mentioned before, I wasn't really there mentally. I was more there just trying to soak everything in and be present in the moment. But this year, it's a completely different flavor. It's a completely different sauce. And I just can't wait to get over there and really start enjoying the time that I'm going to be over there, and also enjoying the road trip that I'm going to be taking and embarking on with Aiden this entire trek. Really take the time to smell the roses, as cliche as that might sound. Really take the time to just record, document, and soak all of it in. It's a beautiful country that we live in, and a lot of times we just take it for granted. So I know on a plane, I wouldn't be able to take to partake in so many views and vistas. So I'm going to be doing that and documenting it a lot right here on my phone, to be able to share it as soon as possible, because I do have Instagram and all those other applications on my other phone. And what makes it awesome is a little thing called AirDrop, which whatever video I do want to share, I can just share it from the phone to this one and then off to social medias, and we go from there. So with that being said, that's just a little bit of the things that I'm doing to get ready for People of Video, and some of the equipment that I'm going to be taking up there with me, because I'm also trying to be, I'm trying to maximize by being minimalistic, if that makes sense, right? I'm trying to maximize my time and everything that I do with that, but at the same time, I also want to make sure that I'm not carrying too many things that is just going to be a burden for me to create the content, instead of having to worry about the gear that I'm going to be using. So with the crisp audio, and the thought that I had was to record on my iPhone, and if there is any background sound, run it through that crisp audio to clean it up, and once it's clean, then synchronize it with the video, and then use that through my video editing suite, Final Cut Pro, to make it a viable video without having to worry about background noise and bad audio. So I'm going to see how that works, and hopefully that should get me good results. And I know that even if it doesn't, right, like it's not going to be the best, it will be so much better than the majority that it will be good enough. And that's something that I'm trying to learn myself, that I try to be as best as possible in everything that I do, but there is such a level of good enough, which is get it out there, share the content so that people can enjoy and learn as much as possible, because I absolutely love to see my favorite content creators, myself, go out there, make something new to inspire a new idea, a new thought. That's why we do it, right? It's the best. All right, so let's go back to the chat real quick to see what you guys are talking about. All right. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so this is where we're at. Oh, okay, thank you, Paul. Paul mentioning about my t-shirts and my merch. Yes, this is one that should be hitting the store soon, because I'm really trying to work best with Press and Sew to get some new designs out there. Here's a little hint for those of you who are part of the Camera Junkie crew. An idea that I'm having is to actually go with my moniker, right? My upgrade your skills type of shirt. But what I've done is that I've created a variety of different colors with the same design. What I'm thinking is that thinking bigger, like when it comes to, like merchandise, so to speak, and just expanding. you know, Nike has their little moniker, has their Just Do It, and they have it on so many different shirts and written in so many different ways. That's where that's where it sparked me. I was like, I can rewrite upgrade your skills in a variety of different ways. Maybe even do one that's like emojis or something like that, right? Like something of that sort, of just thinking outside of the box that always leads to the same phrase, which is upgrade your skills. So that's what I'm planning on, that including this and other, you know, merchandise and ideas. FYI for everyone who's out there, anything that you see that's coming from me, from Mr. Camera Junkie, has been made by me. So believe it or not, this entire design was not that I hired somebody on Fiverr. It was that I sat there, created the design. I took that photo of all my lenses that I had at the time, you know, and all the glass that I had, and that was like my lens stable at the moment when I took this shot. So like I said, it's nothing that's not created or not made by me. Like, so if you decide to pick something up, just know that it means that much to me because it's something that was created by me specifically for you, and I want to put more energy into that. And I just see good things happening in the future with a variety of different, you know, upgrade your skill shirts, also with you know, different types of merchandise and other different types of, you know, like sayings and styles to come in the future. Thank you, Nano. He's saying nice t-shirt. This was one of my favorites, and this is just an awesome saying for me, you know, because this basically stands for that the camera that the lenses are more important than the camera body. So if you have a really good lens, like right now, if I were to go out and buy the new G Master 50mm f1.2 lens, it's an amazing lens. But what I can do is I can go and mount it on this 12-year-old Sony NEX6. Semi FX. This is not full frame. Come on, Lewis, you should know better. All right, this NEX6, which is a 16 megapixel APS-C camera, and start taking banger photos, banger shots, like just amazing images, because the glass is always more important than the camera body. That's why. Glass before ass. All right. Let's see. Okay, so his name is William. Thank you, William. Mulain. Okay, William is my name. Mulain is my nickname. All right, I will do my best to remember both. Ese es mi apodo. Se dice como quieras. It's okay. That's what I just read. Ese es mi apodo. He said that's my nickname, so you can say it however it is. Says okay, and Mr. Duncan says Harbor Freight is great. It is great. Says Mulain. Hopefully I am saying that correct as well. Mulain habla español y mi padre son de Puerto Rico. So Nano is saying that his parents are from Puerto Rico. Mine as well. I was actually born on the island, even though when I speak English, a lot of people do not hear an accent. But when I speak Spanish, people know exactly where I'm from. But I always take that, you know, into consideration, knowing that people don't have an idea where I'm from when I speak English. So their mind usually runs off to Middle Eastern or Palestinian before Puerto Rican. And I just find that funny because, you know, people have come up to me and said, Assalamu alaikum. And then I just told them, well, I'm just a Puerto Rican. Like that's it. That, you know, nothing against them, but this nothing religious. It's just who I am. Paul says, what a tease. Yeah, you're going to have to watch the video because I've dedicated into building this thing and I want to put that out. So I'm not going to open it up. Plus, it's not really done. There's still a couple of things there which are already working, but they're not fixed into final form. So that's why I don't want you to see a variety of things falling out, but it will be coming out soon. Okay, so he says he's Dominican. Soy dominicano y vivo in Jersey. All right. Well, if you hadn't heard, I'm making my way up to New York within the next week or so. We're doing a a conference, a People of Video conference that's being held in Albany, New York. If you have the ability to make it, I would highly recommend it, especially if you're looking to create content or to meet other content creators. I would definitely tell you to look at the People of Video webpage so that you can see the speakers and the people who are going to be there. I went there last year and it was, for me personally, life-changing event. I am where I am right now because of the relationships and friendships that I made in that conference. And that's it in a nutshell. Like, opportunities and things that have been made available to me because I made a sacrifice to hoof it and take a road trip with Aiden last year, crash with Doc Rock, you know, and luckily he had the extra space to accommodate me, and other members of the Camera Junkie crew came through because they had purchased tickets to the event, but then, you know, the time frame did not allow them to make the event. So because it was purchased, they gifted those tickets, or the, you know, the entrance for me to make the conference. So I am extremely grateful to everyone who helped me along last year's journey, to the point where I was actually able to pre-plan this year's trip to make it that much easier, and humbled and grateful for the opportunities. And I can't wait to hang out with so many amazing people in just like a week or so. Oh, so awesome. Sly says, I have 3 of those cases. I'm planning on using them for the kayak before I got sick. Can't wait to see what you do with it. That's awesome. Well, they are like weatherproof, right? And they have like all of these ceilings, but I did drill some holes in them. I did take precautions when it comes to it. So right now I would call it IPA68 weather resistance, but it's not weatherproof. But that's something that you know, for those of you who know, a la Caleb Pike, something within that sort. But I can't wait to show all of you guys what I did with it. And like I said, some people are going to see it live and in action at People of Video, because that's what I made it for. All right. William says, I love Puerto Rico. So do I, man. It's, well, all the Caribbean, right? We're all just un brincachalco. Right? That's, I say, just a hop, skip away, just a puddle away from the other island. Says, are you willing to take on a live stream novice? I need a moderator for my streams. Dude, you've spoken to the right person. I know he's most likely going to get in contact with you so that you can see the services that this man could provide. And if those of you who don't know, Mr. Paul Duncan, the master moderator, Mr. Moderator, can help you out in a variety of different ways when it comes to your live streams, not only moderating live, but also helping with his predetermined word list, or the block words list, which he provides for a minimal fee. And I can tell you that for your live streams and your pre-recorded content, this is something that you should have in place in your YouTube channel if you're serious about creating content, because it's gonna help you out a lot. You know, right now, one of the worst things that is going on in YouTube is so many people complaining about these Telegram bots and people's trying to fake their likeness and get and scam people out of money, telling them that they won some prize from some big, you know, content creator on the platform. This is also happening with all different types of creators. Another creator who was in here a little while ago, I'm not sure if he's still here, Sammy Superstar, had his channel hacked, and they started throwing some crypto scam and things like that. So there's a variety of different security measures that you need to take to protect yourself on this platform, one of them being the block words list. And I highly recommend you checking out Mr. Paul Duncan and his moderating services and, you know, peripherals, I would guess you would call it, or digital assets that he has available. So, yo soy de Boston. So he's from Boston. Are you still in Boston, Nano? Because we're headed over there. I'm going to be in Boston for a good minute. Like, that's part of this whole thing, because there's like a straight week after people of video, before the photo shoot, that I'm just gonna be in Boston, and that's what I said, I'm gonna be documenting, creating, and especially being in a different city, I think is also gonna motivate me to do my Apple a day challenge, right? That taking the photos from my Apple device and posting them at least one a day for the entirety of my trip, to try to make it like a 30-day challenge at least, and just get myself out of the comfort zone, or out of the perfection zone, because it's not a comfort zone, it's a perfection zone of trying to get the best shot in every angle possible, right? Because I'm a camera junkie. But try to like kick that habit and learn to just start creating more content faster with these items. And if I am halfway thinking of getting a new iPhone, right? If I'm halfway thinking of getting the new iPhone 14 when it comes out, and hint, not too happy about it being eSIM. If I cannot get one with a physical SIM card, I'm probably gonna get me a 13, spec it out to maybe a terabyte, and know that that's gonna be my phone for a long time. But I digress. If I am going to invest in that system, right, for a new iPhone, I need to take advantage, or full advantage, of the capabilities of that device. So I need to shake some things up and start using my phone for a content creation device. So these guys are having a Spanish conversation, saying they used to live in Haverhill, Nantucket, and Massachusetts. That's cool, man. You guys are both up there, and I'm gonna be up there in a little bit. Saying New Hampshire, yeah, I guess, is that called the tri-state area? I wonder what's the tri-state. That's tri-state is New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let me know if that is the correct 3 states that they're talking about in that area. Because the New Hampshire and all that would be more like the New England, the provinces and things like that. So he's saying he's a Jersey boy now. All right. Janice says, sounds like a great challenge, which stabilizer you're using with your phone. Exactly, right? To make it only from my phone. And I kind of like the term. So if you guys want to get into it, I am gonna be addressing it once I start it in this upcoming week, because believe it or not, it's September 10th today, and actually we just passed the midnight hour, so we're September 11th. That's just 3 or 4 days away from me hitting the road. So within that time, I'm going to be either making a community post on my channel, or maybe make my first video from my phone to, launch the challenge, so to speak. But I'm going to use that hashtag Apple a day, hashtag Apple a day. And that's going to be my Apple a day video or photo challenge. I really want to do more photography. That's what this new Vero app is about. Kind of like what a lot of people have mentioned. It's what Instagram should have been, or was supposed to be, which is very interesting. I have checked it out. There's a couple of people that I'm following, but I really want to start putting content on there myself, just for that aspect, just to level up my photography again. Because in 2020, I took 50,000 photos, 50,000 images. Not all of them were good, but there was a lot of good ones, right? 2021 and 2022, not so many. And that's just being honest, because my time and energy has been spent on other things. Excuse me. It's been spent on other things, including video content creation. But I love photography. And part of me becoming a full-time content creator is so that you can do the things that you love, right? And one of the things that I love doing is just taking still photos, even if it is for me. I've taken a lot of Aiden here, but that's, like I said, once again, just for me. But I want to start taking more to share, more to demonstrate, and also to inspire people to break out of their comfort zones and understand that you can take really good photos from an iPhone if you put in the effort to upgrade your skill when it comes to having that photographer's eyes and knowing how to frame things out. You know, you would see this, and this ended up being cliche, right? When you see somebody go like, right? But that simple little trick can help you block out a lot of things to see what it is that you want to see or what you want to get out of your image. So this looks great. The t-shirt says, yes, I will try to go. I follow Anna and Fulgens and all of you. Oh, that's so awesome, man. That would be cool if you can make it, man. And you know, even if you don't make the whole event, if you can just stop by, you're probably gonna find this hanging out or getting some food, you understand, and you might be able to partake. It will be really cool to get to meet, you know, as many people as possible. Yep, here's Mr. Moderator giving you the link. Says protect your stream, get your block words list today. Yes, Mr. Moderator.me, YouTube block words list. That's awesome. Says just Philly, not a state. Well, you know what? I said Philly. You're absolutely right. Thank you for. I really said Philly, but I was thinking Pennsylvania, like the whole state. Thank you, Kathy. That was awesome. Oh, that was awesome. It says just Philly, not the state. No, I guess I got stuck on the subs, right? I'm thinking like I should stop in and get a sub on the way up, right? And get that, you know, get the good, right? These are things that I totally was not even thinking about last year. I was just checking up on Aiden. Let's check real quick, Mr. Oh, wait, what happened? I lost the feed on my Aiden cam. Okay, so let's go back. You can't win them all. Hey, if you want to support, I just put that there. It'll be up for a little bit and then it disappears so that it's not taking up all of the time in the live stream. But if you decide to, just know that it's highly appreciated. You don't have to, but I also want to make sure to let you know that there's also ways of giving out if you want to do so. So it's always highly appreciated. But thank you, Kathy, for correcting me, right? And telling me that it's not just Philly, not just Philly, but Pennsylvania, the state. Oh, and I was wrong. So I was corrected here by William. He says New York. Oh, there we go. It says New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Okay, so I guess that's the tri-state area. Thank you. But Kathy says New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, my home stomping grounds. Says yes, I said Connecticut. So is it Connecticut or is not? Now I'm confused completely. I'm gonna wait on you guys, right? Before we close this thing out, I'm gonna wait on you to correct me on what are the tri-states, because for what I'm seeing, it's either Connecticut or Pennsylvania. Let me know because I'm here to learn as well. All right, and with that, before we close things out, you know what it is. Boom, Cities Gaw. Channels that I think you should go and watch. And in today's camera theme, someone that has not been highlighted but is one of my favorite content creators and I love watching his channel is Mr. none other than Gene Nagata, which I have mentioned here quite a few. Boom, let's do that. also known as Potato Jet. Obviously, I've spoken about this man on this channel quite a bit, and how I, have done a lot of things similar to him. One of those main things was how I decided to name my channel, because his name is Gene Nagata, but instead of making that his YouTube channel name, he decided to name it something completely like off the wall, Potato Jet, and that became memorable in people's minds, and it became easy to actually like talk about, right? Like, hey, you heard about that guy Potato Jet, right? And it's very distinguishable by his name, and he let the content of what he was creating be the source of what people wanted to share, but he also made his name easily shareable, right? Or easily memorable. That's when I decided to take that into consideration, because my name is Luis Vega, and in just the state that I reside, Florida, there are over 700 Luis Vegas. And no, not only over 700, there are over 700 Luis Vega photographers in the state of Florida, right? So that goes to show you that if I wanted to then create, like a brand using my name, there was a whole lot of uphill climbing needing to be done. I can create the same exact content, but then also the name is not as easily shareable. Now, the Camera Junkie name is something that was spawned from both my, like personal friendships with my friends, and also like my business that I was moving or transitioning from, being Mr. Fix-It iPhone Repair. And I was trying to look for the name Camera Junkie just by itself, and that was already taken. It wasn't really being utilized well. Like, whoever has it owns it, but they didn't do a lot with it, to my understanding, especially within the Google search in the state of Florida. So that just led me to run with that name. And when I was able to find, the hybrid of that, Mr. Camera Junkie, and it still had like a nice ring to it when it came to, the phonetics of the word, I was like, this is a no-brainer, and found the availability for that moniker everywhere. And because of it, I can now go on to new applications like Vero and find my name easily. And and now other people, wherever they decide to look for me, can find me easily under that same moniker, instead of having to go through the drones of Luis Vega photographers, being just over 700 in Florida. Just imagine if you were to just take the East Coast and try to round up how many Luis Vega photographers there were. I didn't even want to think of that number, and that's just being realistic. So because of it, that's one of the main reasons why I decided to use my name as Mr. Camera Junkie, inspired by this man here in particular, Mr. Gene Nagata. But as you can see, his content speaks for himself. This video right here that is kind of like playing on the screen right now, dude, just his interview with Michael Bay and Jake Gyllenhaal and a couple of other people for like one of these movies, that one of the more recent movies. I haven't really been paying attention to the cinema scene, but it was such an interesting video, and it goes to show you how far Mr. Potato Jet has taken his channel, from creating content on YouTube to interviewing and meeting Michael Bay, full on, like a cinematographer, director for some of the biggest movies that you've already seen. So that goes to show you some of the potential that is available on this platform. But if you're looking for information, education, and inspiration, I highly recommend you check out Mr. Gene Nagata, aka Potato Jet channel. Highly recommend his content. I find him also to be very personable and funny, someone that you can relate to, and you get to meet his entire crew. Right now, he's just been making a lot of videos with his fiance and his friend. But one of his friends is missing because he's just been doing a bunch of different work, but that's a whole different conversation. So yeah, check out Mr. Potato Jet. I highly recommend. And that's this week's Cities God channels that I think you should go and watch. Boom. And with that, that is it, guys. That is another Camera Junkie live stream in the books. And as always, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and spending it here with me. Let's go check the chat before we close everything out. He says, okay, I did not get a response for the thing. So he says, yes, my bad. I said Connecticut. So I'm guessing it is New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. But I will confirm it within the next week or so. And I'll probably mention it on next week's live stream. But that is where I'm going to leave it for tonight. Mr. Paul, the moderator, says if you want to support the channel, yep, hit the QR code. Also, as well, we have a Buy Me a Coffee, which is another method. If you have that, you can support me the same way, Mr. Camera Junkie. That's where you find me everywhere. That's who I am. And as always, I thank you for taking the time and hanging out here with me on the Camera Junkie live stream. Our time being our most prized possession. And I always tell you to upgrade your skills before your gear. Take the time to smell the roses and take care of yourselves and each other, because we will be doing it all over again next week. No matter where I'm at, I'm going to be going live 11 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to figure out where I'm going to be currently located on my trip, then you're going to have to tune in. Put it on your calendar, because this happens, as you can see, quite often. We are episode 93, and next week is episode 94 as we inch closer and closer to that 100 episode milestone, which I can't wait for all of you to be here and join me when that happens. But with that being said, guys, I'm being very Puerto Rican and saying goodbye 2 or 3 times, but thank you as always for hanging out here on the Camera Junkie live stream. I can't wait to do it all over again, and I hope to find a lot of hashtags from this Apple a Day challenge from whoever decides to join me on that. You can find me once again on all social media platforms under Mr. Camera Junkie, including Vero, which is where I'm going to be doing this. I would invite you to join in on the fun. And with that being said, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all next week. Well, that started playing a different song. That wasn't what was supposed to happen. This is what was supposed to happen. An outro.